Hello, my name is Miriam. I am 60 years old. I never thought I would be telling my life like this, but when you reach my age, memories become heavier than your body. Some memories warm your heart, others slowly break it. I was not always old. Once I was a young woman with dreams that were very small. I did not want a big house or a rich life. I only wanted a peaceful home, a kind husband, and children who would stay close to me. I got married when I was 19. Life was hard from the beginning. My husband worked long hours, and money was never enough. Still, we tried. We shared simple meals, quiet nights, and small hopes for the future. After many years, I had only one child, my son. From the moment I held him, I knew my life would no longer belong to me. Everything I did was for him. I worked when I was tired. I stayed silent when I was hurt. I saved every coin for his education, his clothes, his future. When my husband died, the world became very quiet. Too quiet. My son was still young. I became both mother and father to him. I learned to be strong even when I felt weak inside. Years passed. My son grew up. He became educated. He found a job. He married. Before his marriage, he sat next to me and held my hand. He said, "Mother, you will come with me. You will live with us. You will never be alone." I believed him. After the wedding, he told me to pack my things. He said we would leave together. He said I would stay with his family. My heart felt light for the first time in years, but that day never came. He said, "Just wait a little." So I waited. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Every time I called, he was busy. Every time I asked, he said soon. I stayed alone in that old house, surrounded by memories and silence. I cooked less. I spoke less. I waited more. And slowly, I understood something painful. My son had not forgotten me. He had chosen to leave me. After I realized my son was not coming back, something inside me changed. Not loudly, not suddenly. It was a quiet change, like a light slowly turning off. At first, I made excuses for him. I told myself he was busy. I told myself marriage is difficult. I told myself his wife needed time to accept me. A mother's heart is very good at lying to itself. Every morning, I woke up early. I cleaned the small house even when it was already clean. I cooked food even when I was not hungry. I kept myself busy so I would not think too much. But loneliness does not care if you are busy. At night, the silence became louder. I would sit near the window and look at the street. Every sound made my heart jump. Every car that passed made me think, maybe this is him. It never was. Sometimes days passed without me speaking to anyone. My voice started to feel strange in my own ears. I talked to myself just to remember how it felt to speak. I remembered the nights I stayed awake when my son was sick. I remembered the times I walked long distances to save money for him. I remembered how proud I was when he called me my mother in front of others. Those memories hurt more than the loneliness. I tried calling him again. This time, he answered. His voice was cold, rushed. I told him I missed him. I told him the house felt empty. I asked him when I could come. There was a long silence. Then he said, "Mother, things are complicated right now." That was all. No explanation, no comfort, no promise. After that call, I stopped asking. Weeks later, a neighbor came to visit me. She asked why I was living alone. I told her my son would take me soon. The words felt heavy in my mouth. Even I did not believe them anymore. Money became a problem. I sold some of my old things, my wedding ring, my extra clothes, small items with big memories. Each sale felt like losing another piece of my life. Sometimes I wondered if I had done something wrong. Was I too strict? Was I too soft? Did I love him too much? At 60 years old, you start questioning your entire life. One day, I got sick. It was not serious, but I was weak. I stayed in bed for days. No one came. No one called. I realized that if I died in that house, it might take days before anyone noticed. That thought scared me more than death itself. I finally understood something very painful. I had raised my son to be strong, But I had forgotten to protect myself. I was no longer waiting for him to return. I was learning how to survive without him. And that lesson was the hardest one of my life. After that sickness, my body became weaker, but my mind became clearer. When you face loneliness for too long, it stops being a surprise. It becomes a part of you, like a shadow that never leaves. I started walking slowly to the market by myself. Every step hurt, but staying inside hurt more. People passed me without looking, young faces, busy lives. I felt like a memory walking among the living. One day I saw a mother holding her son's hand. The boy was laughing. That sound went straight through my chest. For a moment I wanted to stop them and say, "Hold his hand tightly. One day he may let go." I didn't say anything. I just walked on. I tried calling my son again, not to ask for help, not to complain. I only wanted to hear his voice. The phone rang many times. He did not answer. I did not call again. That night, I couldn't sleep. I thought about all the small moments I ignored when I was younger. I thought I would always have time. Time is cruel like that. It leaves without warning. Days later, I received a short message from him. Just a few words. "Sorry, Mother. I'm busy." I read that message again and again. Each time it felt smaller, like my place in his life had shrunk to nothing. Winter came. The house felt colder than before. I wore extra clothes and slept with blankets, but the cold inside was different. It came from being forgotten. I stopped expecting anything. No visits, no calls, no explanations. Expectation is a kind of hope, and hope was too painful to carry. Some evenings I talked to my late husband. I told him our son was grown now. I did not tell him the rest. Some truths are too heavy to say out loud. I learned how to live quietly. I learned how to eat simple food. I learned how to sit with my thoughts without crying every time. But some nights when the house was too silent, I held that old photo and whispered, "Did I raise you for this?" There was no answer. And maybe that was the answer. As the years continued, my world became smaller. I no longer thought about tomorrow. I only focused on getting through each day. Waking up, eating a little, breathing. I sold the house in the end. It held too many memories and too much silence. I moved into a small room where no one knew my story. There I became just another old woman with tired eyes. My son never came, not once. I heard that he asked about me one time, just once. But he did not come. Sometimes people ask because they want peace, not because they want to return. I stopped waiting, truly stopped. There was a strange calm in that. Pain fades when hope dies. What remains is acceptance. I do not blame him anymore. Life moves fast. People forget slowly. And mothers are often forgotten the quietest. If my story has a lesson, it is not about anger or regret. It is about time. Time does not wait for love to be returned. I am 60 years old. I lived, I loved, I waited. And now, I rest. If you are listening to my voice, remember me not as a sad woman, but as a mother who gave everything she had. Do not wait too long to say what matters. Do not promise what you cannot keep. And do not forget those who once held your hand when you were weak. This is my story, and this is my goodbye.